Right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everybody joining us from the United States. Good evening to folks from Europe and Middle East. A very good evening to folks joining us from Singapore and India. And the people joining us from Australia and New Zealand, well, we really appreciate you staying up late. A very warm welcome to our episode one of Digital Event Series, How to Start Running Your Virtual Event. My name is Pavi Singh, and I will be your presenter today. Over the last 15 years, I've attended and spoken at a number of events about the importance of. Here's an answer from YouTube. Well, sorry, my Google just turned up. I was saying that over the last 15 years, I've attended and spoken at a number of events about the importance of event technology. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the big names in the event marketing technology industry, like Cvent, Adobe, 10 times, and I can assure you that none of them saw the situation coming. The world has completely changed, and so have events. We at Global Sign In work closely with hundreds of event planners. And we realize that everyone is in the race of getting their events online, but not a lot of them have experience in doing that. I'm sure you all must have searched online events by now or something similar on Google. And you must have seen the millions of search results it spits out. At the end of the day, internet is filled with irrelevant information. So we decided to take matters in our own hand and do some research. We feel that being one of the experts in the event technology industry, it is our responsibility to share updated information with the event planning community. So we decided to do a series of digital events where we learn with you and share the experience with everyone. I also understand that a lot of webinars happening these days, they're more of a product presentation where companies are trying to pitch their product instead of sharing expert advice. Let me say it out loud, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a product presentation. This is an effort to build a community which comes together and learns together. Because the truth is, we're all learning at this moment. I'm not sure if you saw the statement made by the CEO of Zoom recently, Eric Yuan, where he said he messed up. He was referring to the security lapses in Zoom and how we did not see that coming. So basically, he's also learning. We not only will share some interesting findings, but we will also be using different webinar tools so that you can also experience using them. Throughout this webinar, if you have any comments or feedback, or if you would like us to cover something in the next episode, please drop us a chat message. In every episode, we try to bring an expert speaker to share their experience with the situation. For today's episode, I wanted to introduce you to a very special guest, Mr. Ed Nadine. Ed did his first completely online developers conference with over 1,000 attendees successfully. And now he's planning to do an online conference with over 10,000 attendees. Ed would be a great source during this time as he has managed to do what most of us are planning to do. Ed, would you like to say hi?
Yeah, hello everybody. Nice to be here. Let's do it.
Perfect. Thanks, Ed. We'll get back to you in a few minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, I wanted to share some housekeeping rules. Now, since this is a webinar, you do not have an option to turn your mic on, unfortunately. However, we'll try to make it as interactive as possible by taking polls and addressing your questions. I recommend that you post your questions in the Q&A field, not in the chat field, in the Q&A field on your screen. If you do not see the Q&A option on your screen, then try to hover over your mouse at the bottom or go to the settings option and choose always show meetings control. We will address your questions at the end of the webinar. If you have any trouble with audio or want to send a direct message, then please use the chat option. We have disabled chat among attendees for security purposes, so please use it to message us directly. If at any point you want to step away for a call, you don't need to log off the webinar, and you can continue listening when you are available. We'll be recording this webinar so that you all will be able to watch it on our website later. We will try to see other attendees. We try to address as many questions as possible. As of now, let me just give you the number. We have a little over 200 attendees. So it just tells us that you're not alone. Everybody is with you. Everybody is going through this situation. So you can also email us your questions at pavi@globalsignin.com. We will display my email address at the end of the presentation as well. So here is what we are going to do today. We'll look at what is the difference between virtual events and taking your events online. Yes, there is a difference, and it's pretty big. Then we will talk about how to make your events secure, what solutions are available in the market, and things you should do before you take your events online. We will also share some best practices which will help you throughout this process. Thereafter, we'll ask some questions to our special guest today and learn from his experience with running a successful online event. Towards the end, we'll share some resources we've compiled for you, and then we will take as many questions as we can, I promise. Ladies and gentlemen, we're also getting some confirmed reports right now that agencies have finally found who's responsible for COVID-19. It may come as a surprise, but it seems Zoom is behind all of this. And I think it makes sense. I mean, look at their stock price in the last 1 month. Look at how many people are searching for Zoom. Well, jokes apart, everyone is trying to take their events online and they're searching for a right tool to assist them. In fact, we've been getting a lot of traffic as well on our own blog post, which is about how to live stream an event on my website. This blog post talks about ways and techniques which can help you go online seamlessly. I'll be sharing the link of this blog post later in the chat window for all of you to look at. Now, we also happen to look at how suddenly the whole world wants to go online. And we strongly believe that this is here to stay. Ladies and gentlemen, events industry is one of those industries which has not been disrupted in decades. Organizers, they still have speakers, exhibitors, buyers, and VIPs at their events with the same basic principle of either educating people or motivating them to network. Now, before we jump onto the difference between virtual and online, here's a quick poll to understand our audience today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out a poll, and you should see it on your screen. All you have to do is just respond to that poll, and I'll be able to see the results right here. Okay, here we go. Okay, some of the attendees have said that they can't see. Let me restart the poll. Okay, how about now? All right, all right. Still getting a few responses. Okay, just 30% have voted. Come on, guys. Okay. Okay. All right, let me quickly share the results with all of you. So what does it say, ladies and gentlemen? 90% of the people present here on the call have never managed an online event. However, 43% of them have actually attended an online event. Not meetings, I'm talking about online events. So as and when we go forward, we'll talk a little bit about how you can take things online, and I think this is going to be very helpful. So let's get back. Now let's talk a little bit about the difference between online event as well as a virtual event. Now, we all understand that literally everything is moving online. We may not agree, but our lives moved online a while ago. Literally everything happened online even before this COVID situation. You talk about banking, ordering food, getting a taxi, or even dating. How many of you have used Tinder? Did you know that dating apps have also started virtual dates? It's true. If I told you 10 years ago that you could find a date by just swiping left or right on your phone, you would have said, what a stupid guy I am. But it's true today, isn't it? So the truth is that we have been online for a while. However, things are changing in the online world as well. So what was cool yesterday may just be average today. So technology companies are looking for ways to make it even more engaging. So they came up with virtual events. Now, while event planners are searching for virtual events and online events and are making arrangements to set everything up, we noticed that not a lot of them knew what a virtual event is. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference between a virtual event and taking your event online. Allow me to explain. Now, imagine yourself at an event, let's say a trade show. What do you see? You see booths, floor, designated pavilions, session rooms, networking area, and a lot of other stuff, right? Now imagine the complete setup online on your screen. You will see everything and even the tables with dedicated seats for attendees. Now, in place of seats, you will see live video of the attendee who's assigned to that seat. You click on the breakout room and you see speakers and all the attendees. You will even see each booth with exhibitor branding and an option to chat with them. That's a virtual event, literally everything which is taken online. Virtual events are highly customized based on your event. And since they need such a level of customization, they are kind of expensive. Now, those of you who are wondering what an online event is, it is basically any event which is conducted online. A meeting, a webinar, live streaming, conference, and even this particular webinar, it's an online event. There are a number of tools available to conduct an online event. I think it's also safe to say that all virtual events are online events, but not all online events are virtual events. However, one of the biggest challenge you face with online events is engagement. An attendee, and pay attention to this, an attendee which spends 2 days at your conference might not even sit for 2 hours at a chair to attend your online event. So the question is, how do you engage with them? We'll talk about it in a few minutes. Before we talk about what attendees are going to do at your event, let's take a step back and think about how the attendees are actually going to get to your event. At a normal event, you would have a check-in desk, security, hosts, and volunteers to ensure that only authorized people get inside the event. You may even you may think that giving access to the authorized person to attend your event, online event, would be easy, right? Well, think again. How many of you have heard about this term called Zoom bombing? It sounds like photo bombing, but it's a lot worse actually. Recently, there has been a hike in the number of incidents where unauthorized people join your events or attendees share explicit content on chat. In some cases, they've even shared their screen and share images. FBI even issued a statement warning event planners about it. From what it looks like, it is increasing day by day. Imagine your competitor trying to sabotage your event, or a friend who just doesn't like you. And all they need to do is to sit at home with their laptop and try to find a loophole in your online event, and that's it. So what can you do to ensure that this does not happen at your event? Well, you password protect it. You'll be surprised to see a lot of online events don't use this feature. You need to ensure that only attendees with a password get the access to the event. Or you may even use a unique ID like this event. Since a lot of events will happen online from now on, your content needs to be protected as it is of utmost importance. Before you start your online event, please sign in as a host and double check all the security options, like making sure only you can share your screen or turning off chat for attendees or even block a meeting after you've started it. It is highly recommended that you do a test run before the actual event to make sure everything is checked. If your events are private, or if you have your own database, it is highly recommended that you keep the event invite only. This will ensure that people log in with the same email address which they used while registering for your event. This way, you know all the attendees already, and chances of an unknown attendee logging into your event becomes minimal. Now, this is probably the most important part of an event. Why do you register people for an event? Because you want their information for data and security purposes. That's exactly what you need to do for an online event as well. If you're using public live streaming solutions like Facebook Live or YouTube live streaming, you may not have this option. The only thing you can be assured of is that people will be logged into their social media account. However, that's not enough. So we highly recommend that you create a registration form for all your virtual events. One thing we are proud of here at Global Sign is that we listen to our clients and act on it. We work with thousands of event planners worldwide, and some of them even tried virtual and online events. And we got a chance to speak with them about their experience, their issues, their concerns. And we noticed that there are systems which can do live streaming, webinars, virtual events, but they don't have a robust registration system. Neither do they have majority of security options. Then there are registration companies, on the other hand, who do have an option to integrate with live streaming. So we decided to act immediately and work on solution to these problems. We are launching an integrated system to secure your events live streaming. One single system for registrations, event marketing, database management, payment processing, and now securing your virtual as well as online events. Here is what it is going to do. One single system to schedule email invites, as well as reminders for attendees to log into the event with the login details. All of this can happen before the event. So imagine if you just have to schedule the emails once and then forget it. If you have done any virtual or online event in the past, you would realize how important it is to have a seamless experience. It is so annoying for your attendees to juggle through different emails to find out the login details. I remember our panelists and I, we were juggling between different emails to try to find the test link or the actual link. So that's the same case with your attendees as well. We make it extremely simple, where your attendees will get a unique link in the confirmation email, and they just verify it using an OTP to get access to the secure page. Now, we're not asking you to switch from your live streaming channel, don't get me wrong. And we will still be talking about what solutions are available for live streaming. If you use WebEx, Zoom, On24, or any other tool, that's great. We embed them seamlessly on our secured page for added security as well as seamless integration between registration and live streaming. I have said this before, and I will say it again, that in an online or a virtual event, content is your event. So when you share your content, it is incredibly important that you share it in a secured environment. You can upload content in PDFs, images, videos, all within the secured page, so it becomes one-stop shop for all the information. It also enables attendees to engage with each other through secure chats and Q&A. Now, why do you need a separate chat if you already have Zoom? Well, because of reporting. If you use two different systems for registrations and engagement activities, you need two different reporting modules to get that data you need. When everything happens on one single page, you will have all the data easily within your reach. Let's see how other event planners organizing webinars are doing when it comes to engaging their audience. 70% of planners offer engagement tools to their attendees during their webinar. This could be surveys to assets to polling and anything which basically engages your attendees. Just like a live event, there's a difference between the number of people who registered and the number of people who showed up at the event. The secure live streaming system tells you how many people checked into the event, and all this data stays at one single place. You will easily be able to run post-event campaigns for people who attended and also for the ones who did not attend. There was actually a benchmark report recently released by On24, where they measured over 35,000 webinars globally. And they reported that on an average, 55% people showed up for the webinar. So the question is, where did the rest of 45% go? Which is why it is incredibly important to have post-event engagement tools to help you engage the people who did not attend. Now, most of you would have looked for a virtual event solution or a digital event solution or an online event solution, or you'll probably look for an event solution later. Now that we know what things are important for a virtual event, let's discuss a little bit about the tools which you would need to manage it. There are essentially 4 different kinds of solutions available for virtual or online events. You've got the online meetings platform. You've got the live streaming solutions. You've got webinar tools. And you've got virtual events platform. Here are some examples of online meetings platform. Now, don't get me wrong, there may be some solutions which do both online meetings as well as webinars, for example, Zoom. And there may be solutions which only do one thing. Here are some examples of webinar tools and some virtual events platforms. Now we understand that, looking at these platforms, it's not really easy to compare and contrast between their features and, all the things you would need. So what we did was we created a comparison sheet, a detailed comparison sheet between most of these online platforms, like a separate sheet for online meetings platform and a separate sheet for webinar solutions. And right now on the screen, what you see is just a high-level comparison between these solutions. What we're going to do is we'll also share a detailed comparison file with you on our resource page, and I'm also going to be sharing a Google Sheet file through the chat option by the end of the webinar. Here's an example of the comparison between live streaming solutions and some virtual event solutions as well. Don't worry, you're going to get a link with all this detailed information. Now, before you choose any of these solutions, I suggest you take a step back and think about why are you going virtual or online? With the current situation, almost all the event planners are talking about going virtual. Some have already gone virtual, and some are still thinking about it. However, I think in this whole situation, some of us are jumping the gun without thinking about a few key things. Now, we're all in a crisis mode right now, with global agencies warning about recession, some of them saying that it's already here, and with huge investments already into our events, we just want to go virtual, right? However, please take a step back and think if it is only about salvaging your sunk investment. Are you sure you'll be able to give the right experience to your attendees when they attend your virtual event? The reason why I say this is because, according to a study, 30% of your webinar attendees will come attend your live event next year. This is also being used as a marketing strategy for post-COVID situation. So think again, is it only about saving your cost, or is it about getting people to attend your next event? Now, just like a live event, we should have a list of goals which we would like to achieve. It could be the number of conversions to your next online event, or the conversion to your live event next year. At the end of the day, the question is, why are you doing a virtual or an online event? 69% of the marketeers say that they plan their webinars 3 months in advance. Majority of the registrants sign up 8 days before the webinar, and less than half of the registrants sign up within 7 days of the webinar. So it's important when and how you market your virtual event. Even smaller things like when to send an email could play an important role in your marketing strategy. Now, an attendee may spend days at your event engaging with you and absorbing your content, but your attendees will not even sit for 2 hours on a chair to attend your event. The definition of attendee experience is completely different for an online or a digital event. Before you think about how you're going to keep your attendees sit on their chair, think about what is going to make you glued to your chair for hours. Videos, for example, is a great way to engage and keep things interesting. Now, there was a research done by Edelman where they reported that people attend events for 2 reasons. First is education, and second is networking. So basically, either they want to learn about new things, or they want to meet with new people, or they just want to get educated. Keeping this data in mind, here are some best practices for your virtual event. I've said this twice before, and I'll say it again. Content is your event, ladies and gentlemen. Unless your content is good, attendees will not be engaged. And if they're not engaged, they will not come back. Now is the time to pay extra attention to your event. The more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in the battlefield. Therefore, testing is incredibly important for your event. Since most of you would be doing their first virtual event, there could be small things which can be left. Please test everything before you go online. Test, test, and test. Like we shared before, there are different things you could do to engage your attendees as well. Play videos, like polls, surveys, or share content to engage with them. The speaker or the moderator should be ready with things to engage if they see people leaving or not engaging. Now, to track your conversion better, plan recurring events. Since most of us are getting started with virtual events, it would be important to see how you're doing and what changes you should make to improve your events. Now, just like a live event, it's important to track how you did. This may just be the right time to send service to your attendees to get feedback because most of them are at home and may respond to your email. Another way to gather metrics would be to see what was the average time your attendees spent online with you. This might help you tweak the duration of your event. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this indicates that the next big thing in our industry could be the digital event manager. By the time this gets over, online events would be a must for everybody. And that is the time the experts will come out to be the digital event manager. Organizations will look for people who can manage all this technology for them and ensure a seamless online event. Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think you will need a digital event manager? If you think, if you would like to hear more about this in our next episode, drop us an email. At this point, let's get back to our panelist and see how he managed to take his event online. Ed, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit more about your event.
Well, it was like almost 4,000 registrations we gained at 5 days of outreaching. I mean, actually we spent 56 probably dollars for the Facebook ads. This all we spent for it. Okay, 4,000 registrations, 1,100 attendees on our tech event. It was a tech event for DevOps and Node.js and JavaScript developers, React developers. Yeah, and really cool speakers was there from Amazon, from Microsoft, from Google, from Red Hat, and 10 more awesome companies. Yeah, and it was hot, yeah, we had like 10 days to prepare everything, and we did. Yeah, content was brilliant, but we made several fatal mistakes with technical stuff, and I will share what we done wrong. We will never do that again. Sure. Yeah, but it was really great experience, and right now we are getting ready to the next conference. We expect for 30,000 of registrations for Node.js Global Summit. Wow. On the 2nd of May, yes, like that.
Amazing, amazing. And in fact, I think we have a picture for just a screenshot of your event website as well. It was finished on April the 2nd, 2020. Tell us, why did you decide to do an online event?
Well, this is our very first experience of an online event. Actually, my business, I have small chain of recruitment agencies. We work with programmers only, and I started to build community of tech people like 4 months ago, but it was offline meetups in Amsterdam, Berlin, and Kiev as well, and it was really amazing experience, and people will like our meetups much, and we prepared everything to scale up and run in 12 more countries in Europe, and then quarantine came and all that stuff. Wow. Yeah, and we were thinking what we're going to do with that. I realized it's a lot of people who will do some online events.
Mhm.
And I wasn't sure if it's worth to do that. Can we gather those guys to those the computers or streams? I mean, how can we beat our competitors for the for the intention? You know. Yeah.
Correct.
So we just go to our audience and ask, "Hey guys, would you connect us if we'll move to online?" We did it for 1 day and received like 1,200 yes. We have really large network. We have really large community um, of tech people. Then we decided, okay, let's try to find speakers. Yes, and right speakers was found like in 3 days more. And then we started to invite our guys.
So I guess what everybody is waiting to hear, Ed, is that tell us a little bit about the challenges you faced with your first online event.
Yeah, that's tough stuff. Actually, that was a totally free conference, and we actually didn't use any paid instruments. So we've been using Zoom to make the conference like we do it right now, and we've been broadcasting it to Facebook Live. And it was the wrong decision, guys. Never do that again. Never choose Facebook or LinkedIn or I don't know any social platforms, maybe YouTube, to have it as the only ones. I mean, mainstream. Always have something for backup.
Okay,
So that
that's a
days,
great point, Ed. I'm sorry to cut you short. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention to this. One good point out of this is do not rely on just one social live stream solution like Facebook Live or LinkedIn live streaming or YouTube. Yeah, great. Please continue, Ed.
yeah, and those days, all online platforms were overloaded, and Facebook live stream was down during 5 hours, probably 3 times, and Zoom failed us more than 5 times.
Wow.
And but the problem is when you broadcasting on Facebook, every new event is a new link, new post, and the fail of fails is that we didn't have the permanent link for our stream. So when stream down, we have to launch one more and post it on Facebook and write new email to our attendees. Guys, here's a new link. And we did it. We had 2 tracks and we did it, I think, 3 times for every track. So we lost a lot of people. If on the start we had more than 1,000 people, up to the end survived 250, something like that.
Wow.
So that was incredible mistake. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. Well, the second track, there was a really smart moderator, and he realized, okay, let's try YouTube. Maybe it will be more, stable. Yeah, and they switched to YouTube their stream, and it was much more successful. So that's if you use something, absolutely free, better use YouTube or Twitch or something like that.
Okay. Interesting, interesting. Great. Well, thank you so much for the insight. As if event planning wasn't stressful already, I'm sure most of us know that event planning is the fifth most stressful job in the world. And I think with this whole situation, it's going to become even more stressful. Maybe next time these results came out, it could be the most stressful job in the world, maybe the number one stressful job in the world. Well,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for this. And tell us a little bit about how did you manage your speakers? How did you ensure your speakers were properly onboarded to put on a good show? Were they trained? Was there a dry run with your speakers as well?
Yeah, we had also the trouble when we started our conference, and I gave the brilliant, as I think, the start speech, welcome speech, and then one of our speakers said, "Well, guys, I think I gotta start 1 hour later. This is not my time. I'm not ready yet." How is it possible, man? Something was wrong with our calendars and time zones, because we've been working in 5 time zones at this conference. And yeah, so the first stuff, you gotta always, compare what on your real watches right now with your speakers. That was a lesson.
Very.
Yeah, we've been running before. Or we asked our speakers to show their presentations
Uh-huh.
5 days before we go, but they didn't. Of course, they sent us their slides 1 day before. But still, yeah, we connected. We tried to run not all the this presentation, but if everything works right, the voice, the screen, the slides, and all that stuff.
Mhm. Okay, okay, sounds good. And did you give any break? What happens during a break in an online event? Did you play something on screen? How did it go?
Yeah, I have really great friends. They helped us with the video, with the picture on the screen. They are professional video engineers, and they prepared graphics. So yeah, we always had 5 minutes between speakers.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was we have the globe moving, and some text there about maybe about the next speaker or something like that. Yes.
Okay, okay. And what would you recommend to our attendees when they start planning their online event?
Well, I guess if you guys are event people, it's nothing, I mean, complicated for you. It's absolutely, I guess, usual stuff for you. I'm not professional in events. But the technical stuff matters. So test everything. Don't use the stuff you don't know. But I don't want to be the Captain America. The most important stuff is who do you invite and why do you do that, and what is the best result you are expecting from your event, I guess.
Okay, interesting. So the two good points in this, that if you're an event planner, don't worry, it's the same usual job. But technical stuff does matter. So do pay a lot of attention to the technical stuff on how you're going to get your event online. Now, what was the good part about your online event? Was there something good? How did it end?
Yeah, that was really brilliant content and a lot of thankful people. Of course, we had haters and followers, and haters were saying, "Guys, what the awful stream! What an awful organization! How could you do that? I've been waiting for 1 week for this event. How could you betray me?" And the other people were saying, "Guys, just relax and enjoy the free conference. Just take a look at the content." Yeah, but the biggest thing we achieved is the brand, because Geekle wasn't known, not even on a big scene, I mean, big stage of IT world. If we've been started for 4 months ago with this community making, but right now we're known from in companies, I mean, in top companies of the world. They know we do these events because we not just invited only our speakers and only our attendees. We've been outreaching a lot of people, and once you have more than 1,000 people on your online event, you become interesting
Mhm.
and you become known. So I guess our brand grew really fast because of these online events.
Okay, right. And what tools and technologies would you recommend, or should I say not recommend to our viewers?
Well, I said don't use Facebook. Well, the idea of Facebook was reasonable because when you stream on Facebook and you have people who watch there, you can target your ads on those people for the next time much cheaper. So you will reach them really cheap for the second time. That was the idea of being translating this. Broadcasting this to the Facebook.
Okay,
But
so if I understand that correctly, Ed, you said Facebook, if you live stream on Facebook, it's going to give you ads based on the people who have joined live streaming. Is that right?
you after the event, you have the statistics in your page settings or page analytics, and you have a lot of people who watch this stream.
Okay.
Next time you want to invite those people, you turn you make these Facebook ads on people who was attending this stream, and they will get your messages, your advertisings much cheaper than you just than when you just advertise it.
Interesting. So people who have already attended your live streaming, you could go into your setting and you can send them a message and retarget them basically, and it's much cheaper.
Yes, and also Facebook understands what kind of audience comes to your stream, and you can choose to find the same audience, lookalike audience, and to promote your next event to them. It's quite cool stuff.
Okay, pretty good, pretty good. And one last question before we, move forward. We have a quick a quick video about your event as well next, and then we're going to start taking questions from our audience, and before we share, and after we share our resources. The last question is: do you think online events have a future?
I think online events is now. It's not future. Not everybody understands that it's necessary to be online in events, but if you do, and as I understand, most of your audience right now is are event people, right? Event organizers.
Right.
So the the faster your clients, guys, understand that it's a new world and it's a new way to touch your audience, those companies will lead the market, will grow incredibly. It's an absolutely fantastic tool. Again, we started 4 months ago. Now we're known in offices of top world's companies such as Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Red Hat, and 10 more. So can you imagine that? For 4 months, it's impossible to do it. So you have to be like, I don't know, who you should be to move so fast. So yeah, it matters. And just show your audience how to, your customers, clients, how can they practically win by holding these online events. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you so much, Ed. Now, we actually, we also wanted to show a quick peek about your event to our audience here. So let's see if we can play this video. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a video from the live event. We're just going to play it for a minute so that you get an understanding of how actually does a live event look like.
So now I'm ready to ask our first speaker here, and it's Sarmad Gyari from Microsoft Azure. Sarmad, are you here?
Yes, Asha.
Yeah, so I given you a word. Guys, have a nice 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Hello everyone. My name is Samad Jari or Samad Jari. I'm a senior cloud architect of Microsoft, and today we're gonna talk about DevOps in Azure and DevOps in general from my own perspective, from my own experience. Now, my background, I did many different roles within IT. Network developer, long-time database developer and administrator, and now for the last few years I've been working mainly with Azure. And in these years I've been in different projects, interacting with different kind of people, and I thought today to share what's my intake or what's my experience working.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is was a quick peek into how the live event actually looked. Now, for the next section, what we have is pretty special. Now we are already towards the end of the webinar. I wanted to share a couple of resources with you all. We compiled a detailed comparison sheet between online event tools available as well as the latest blog post by our CEO, Bimal Gungadin, on the rise of the digital event manager. The blog post talks about how the industry is going to change post the situation. I highly recommend you read and share this post. I'm going to try and share these links in the chat box. Please bear with me. Yeah, while I'm going ahead and pasting these links, let's start taking questions, ladies and gentlemen. So I highly recommend all of you start posting your questions in the Q&A field at the top, and we'll try and take as many questions as we can. As of now, we have a little over 200 attendees still on the webinar. So we won't guarantee that we'll be able to take all the questions, but we'll try and take as many as we can. So please post your questions on the Q&A field. You can also send us your questions at pavi@getme.com in case we're not able to answer your questions live. If you're interested in becoming a speaker or a partner for our next episode, please feel free to drop us a note on this particular email address. Now we're going to start taking some questions. So let's see. We have a question from Natasha. And Ed, I think it will be better if you take this question. The question is, how long would you recommend a speaker session to last?
That's a good question. It depends on the topic. If it's some soft topic, like about the politics, about some general situation, not more than 20 minutes, not more. If it's some technical stuff, like our guys had, I mean, this live coding sessions, explanations of, some features of Amazon Cloud or Google Cloud and stuff, we've been asking them to work not longer than 30-35 minutes, and they did good. So most of them was 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay, perfect. That makes sense. Another question is, now this one's again related to speakers, and I think, Ed, you would be the best person to address this. Would it be a good idea to have speakers pre-record their presentation and it is broadcasted during the actual event? Wait 1 second.
Yeah, thanks for the sound. Yeah, actually, if you have the format like one speaking head, it's okay when you recorded that. But what we do for the next event, we'll have two speakers in the same stream, almost like we do with you right now, Pavi, but we'll have the speaker who gives his topic, his technical knowledge and all this stuff, and the person who is the customer, who is the person who will be interested, one of our attendees in the same stream. So, we asked our speakers to bid their topics on small blocks. And after each block, the visitor, let's say it's visitor in stream, he asks his question. Maybe he doesn't understand something, or something not clear or not covered in this block, and also reads from the from chat, from Q&A chat. So I guess it will be much more involving for visitors, for those who watch this event. So yeah, it works. But when you show pre-recorded stuff, how it why different from YouTube? Because on YouTube you always have all the information you can even imagine, and even more. So how can you differentiate if this is not live, if it's not that energy and maybe some fails and some, like in real life? So I guess it's not really good idea for for, for the online events.
Okay. Another question, Ed, and I think this is a quite interesting one as well. These are two questions, but I think they can sum it up. They can be combined together. The question is, should free events and paid webinars be approached differently, apart from having strong content and speakers lineup? And the second question was, how can we gain revenue from virtual events? During this situation. So I think these questions are quite similar, and I think this is more relevant because I think your upcoming conference you are planning to charge, or is it still free?
Yeah. Okay. First was absolutely free. It was made from my own money, and it was not goal to monetize it. It was only for branding, and we did absolutely perfect. But second one will be with monetization goal also, and we do two streams also, two tracks also. First track is for juniors, and we say we do everything for juniors is for free. So if you have the junior level of Node.js, come register for free, become the member of our community, but junior member, and you will get all the juniors content for free. And we have second one, second track. It's for pros, so for experienced developers who knows a lot of these Node.js, but we have the new version of this language, and they want to know what is new and how to use these new features of language to program their stuff. And this we are going to charge. It will be like we'll start from $20 per user, and we'll rise it up every week up to the $50 per user. But we don't offer this not just tickets. We offer the membership, pro membership for 1 month. And the attendees will also have, after the event, will have more than 10 deep workshops on different topics of Node.js. And they will get it for free also. Okay. So our goal is to build the community, not just sell the ticket for the event. I believe in communities.
And this actually sounds like quite similar to what we would do in a normal event as well. So I think from a pricing perspective, things stay the same, that you have different levels of pricing. Maybe you give them something for free and then you charge a different set of attendees a different fee. But I think It's quite similar to what a normal event would, right?
Yeah, but this is the idea only. We just started to prepare this new event. So this is idea only. Please, guys, don't use it as an experience. Is the way how we will do. If you want our feedback about this idea and how was everything, how happened everything, ping me in a month, and I will share the feedback and the results and. Maybe even tell you how much money we raised, but I'm not sure, and I promise.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We have another interesting question, and I think I particularly like this one. This question is from Morgan. You mentioned about targeting attendees via Facebook, and you can target those who attend from Facebook Live. Can you also do that on any other platform? Did you come across any other platform who could do that?
Can you do that? I didn't hear well.
So you mentioned that you can retarget those people.
Yeah, sure.
Facebook live streaming. Can you do the same thing on any other more professional live streaming system or any other system for that matter?
Look, guys, I'm not professional in any advertising and all that stuff. That's what our guys told me. Why could we use Facebook? And I thought it's reasonable. I'm not sure about other platforms. I'm not sure. I know it's possible to target on audience like so. Maybe you know there is a page or group like you are interested in. You can target on them, but I'm not sure.
And you know what? I think this is interesting. We could probably keep it for our next episode as well, where we do some research about what all different platforms are available where you can retarget your audience. I think this is an interesting question. We could actually cover it on episode number 2. I think we only have a couple of minutes left, so let's just take one last question, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I guess you guys interested in how could we raise those guys so quick and so many people came there. The answer is community building. Start build your community before the event. We spent only $56 on Facebook ads, and only because I just wanted to know how expensive will be for the any registration. Yeah, we invited people we knew. We invited people from our network, the guys who was attending our previous events. I mean, offline events and all this stuff. So the community is the key.
Okay. One last question, and we only have a minute left. And I think this is a technical question because you mentioned about the link. You mentioned that Facebook Live created a new link every time they reset.
Yes.
Do you know any other platform that have a static meeting link or ID even after they crash and are reset?
Yeah, even YouTube has. A lot of them have, but you have to keep it in mind. The hardest failure you can gain is not permanently.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have it and share with your attendees.
Got it. Perfect. Well, that's it from a questions point of view. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are already at our time, and if you have any further questions or if for some reason we were unable to address your question, please email us your question at pavi@gimple.com. If you're interested in becoming a partner, or if you're interested in becoming a speaker for our next episode, or if you think there is anything interesting you would like us to cover in the next episode, please drop us a note and we'll be very, very happy to connect with you. Once again, thank you so much, Ed. It was lovely speaking with you, and I think these insights were absolutely phenomenal. I think during these times, it is one of the most valuable things us event planners can learn. At the end of the day, we are all learning from each other, and we really, really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thanks, Pavi. Thanks for this opportunity. Go ahead. It's a new ocean. Jump there first.
Great. Thank you so much, Ed, and all the best for your upcoming event.
Thanks, guys.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank
Bye-bye.
you so much for joining us. Please drop us your feedback, your comments on the email address on the screen, and we look forward to connecting with you on our next episode. Thank you very much.